If you ever spent time in your grandma's kitchen, you probably remember the smells before anything else. Warm pie cooling on the windowsill, fresh bread rising in the oven, maybe even a pot of something bubbling on the back burner. There was something magical about those kitchens. Everything had a purpose. Every drawer held a surprise. And Grandma always had a gadget that somehow made the job easier and more fun. Today, we're taking a stroll back in time to remember 10 vintage kitchen gadgets Grandma swore by. 1. The hand crank egg beater. Before the days of fancy mixers, there was this little beauty, 2 metal beaters, a spinning crank, and a strong pair of arms. Grandma used it for everything: whipping cream, mixing cake batter, scrambling eggs for Sunday breakfast. It wasn't fast, but it was satisfying. You could hear the rhythm of the kitchen in every crank. And when you were a kid, she'd let you take a turn, just for fun. Electric mixers took over, but they never made it feel the same. 2. The butter churn. Making butter wasn't just something Grandma did. It was something you could watch. Step by step, she'd pour in the cream, start cranking, and before you knew it, real butter was forming. It took patience, sure, but that golden lump at the end was worth it. She'd spread it thick on warm cornbread or save it for Sunday pancakes. Store-bought butter may be quicker, but it doesn't come with a memory. 3. The meat grinder that clamped to the table. This thing was a tank, cast iron heavy, and bolted right onto the kitchen table. Leftover roast went in the top, and out came ground beef, ready for meatloaf or shepherd's pie. Grandma made nothing go to waste, and this tool was her secret weapon. You'd hear it grinding away while she told you stories or hummed an old tune. Nowadays, we have electric grinders, but they don't have the same heartbeat. 4. The cookie press. Remember Christmas cookies that looked like tiny works of art? That's the cookie press, filled with buttery dough and squeezed, out in perfect shapes: stars, trees, hearts. Grandma had a tin of metal discs she swapped out depending on the season. Sprinkles went on top, and the smell, well, you probably still remember it. Store-bought cookies can't compete with that kind of love. Mom's the wall-mounted can opener, not tucked in a drawer, not lost behind the toaster. This one was part of the kitchen. Fixed to the wall or the side of a cabinet, it was always right there when you needed it. One quick twist, and the lid popped off. No fuss, no hunting around. It was small, simple, and completely reliable. They don't make them like that anymore. 6. The glass rolling pin filled with ice water. Now this one's special. It looked like something out of a science lab. A hollow glass tube you filled with cold water. Grandma used it to roll out pie dough, keeping it cool so the crust stayed flaky and perfect. It clinked softly as she worked. Flour dust in the air, a rhythm only she knew. Today's rolling pins get the job done, but they don't feel quite as elegant. Learn the metal flour sifter. It squeaked a little when you turned the handle, but that was part of the charm. You'd see a cloud of soft flour fall into the bowl, light and airy. Grandma always said sifted flour made everything better, from biscuits to birthday cakes. She'd hand it to you to crank if you were lucky. It made baking feel like magic. The enamel coffee percolator, it sat on the stove, bubbling away with the softest gurgle. Grandma's coffee wasn't poured from a machine. It was brewed slow, one drop at a time. You could smell it from the front porch. That sound, that smell, it meant morning had officially begun. Coffee today might be faster, but it's not as comforting. And the metal ice cube tray with the liver, aluminum, cold to the touch, and filled with clear water. Pull the handle, and you'd hear a satisfying crack as the cubes popped loose. Grandma used them for lemonade on the porch or iced tea at lunch. There was something so mechanical and fun about it, especially when you were a kid. Now everything's automatic, but that sound still echoes in some of our memories. 10. The Jell-O mold. Bright, jiggly, and shaped like a crown or a flower. Jell-O wasn't just a dessert, it was a celebration. Sometimes she'd fold in fruit, sometimes little marshmallows, sometimes vegetables, which we tried to ignore. It sat in the middle of the table like a masterpiece. You don't see it much anymore, but it was once the queen of every potluck. These weren't just tools. They were part of a slower, sweeter way of life. A kitchen filled with love, patience, and the quiet hum of something cooking on the stove. If any of these brought back memories for you, or if Grandma had a gadget we didn't mention, drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear your stories. And if you enjoy these little trips down memory lane, be sure to like this video and subscribe to RetroNest, where yesterday lives on, one story at a time.